Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Well, I don't often say good things about the former Labor government. However, one of the few positive legacies I could cite from this era is the Royal Commission into institutional responses to child sex abuse. There are a number of things that come out of these hearings which have been invaluable to the community. Firstly, it has given victims of abuse a chance to be heard on the public record once and for all. I've read many media reports of the hearings where people who have testified have told what a valuable experience this is towards their healing. Consequential to the testimony is the fact that more than 800 incidents of sexual abuse have been referred to police. In some of these cases, justice is being served right now. And all of this is a valuable thing. It's good for the victims and it's good for society that people who committed these despicable and horrid crimes against children, albeit several decades ago, will face justice. As the Royal Commission process moves towards conclusion, it's time for members of this chamber to start giving serious consideration to how we prevent future crimes. The top priority for any government must be to protect its citizens, and the citizens who are in the most need of protection are those who are unable to defend themselves, and that's children. So, Mr Speaker, I would like to briefly outline one of the stories which has surfaced through the Royal Commission process. I will not name the offender, not because we owe him any duty, but to protect the privacy and the dignity of his victims, some of who still reside in my electorate. So, for the purpose of this, we'll call him X. X was a teacher. He was sacked by the South Australian Public Service System in 1978 for disgraceful and improper conduct. He went on to work in a Brisbane private school in the 1980s, where he was sacked after accusations of sexual abuse. He was promptly rehired at another school where a student went to the principal and made detailed accusations about X sexually abusing him. The principal of the school warned the child not to tell lies, threatened to take away his scholarship and ignored the accusation. X later resigned from that school, was given a glowing reference by the principal and moved to my electorate and took up another teaching position. It was in the Northern Territory that he was sacked and convicted of sexually abusing 5 boys from his last school. Mr Speaker, I don't know how many young lives were irreparably damaged by the actions of X. I do know that every victim after his first in the late 1970s to his dismissal from the Northern Territory education system in 1993 was failed by this system. They were failed by those who did not escalate the accusations to police, and they were failed by a system which allowed a pedophile to continue working unsupervised with children. Along with my colleague, the member for Dawson, we are campaigning for the creation of a national register of people who have been convicted of sexual crimes against children. This is building on from the good work that the Northern Territory government has done. Governments must protect its people, especially those who are unable to protect themselves. So I call on members on both sides of this chamber to support the creation of this register, because we need to make sure that stories similar to those of X are stopped. They are so common that we haven't even sort of scratched the surface. So I think that even if a register stops one child being abused, I think that's worth it. So there'll be more to come on this issue, and the member for Dawson and I are very passionate about this very, very particular issue, and we would like others to support us from both sides of the chamber.